Boom! Welcome. It's another Tuesday afternoon. You're hanging with the Roll for Mischief crew, as I like to say, your favorite nerds. We're going to be continuing with this episode called Episode 12. Um, the overarching name is Finnegan's Finporium, but as you'll see, there's a lot of subtitles and installments and
Amazing subtitles. You
amazing
need to say them.
Yeah. No, they'll see it. They'll see it when we roll the
Oh,
credits. They'll see it.
they're amazing. You'll see.
They're amazing. So, before we get rolling here, let's go ahead and open the floor for some announcements. I'll do a little quick one. Uh, we are working hard to bring Winds of War to a different platform for you all, an audio-only podcast kind of platform. We've
So
got
then you can hear just our sexy, sexy voices.
just like that, exactly. So we got this fella Matthew, who is pretty boss with audio production, I hear, and he is collaborating with us to help clean up all that audio and order it in just the right way and bring it to a podcast near you. So stay tuned. I think we're going to be starting maybe with like episode 10, and then going forward, and then eventually going backward, trying to get the backlog of all the episodes, of which there have been many. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Does anyone else have any other announcements? Okay, then. In that case, we're just going to go ahead and roll the credits. And yeah, there's special credits this time around, every time around for this whole episode. Hope you enjoy them. Here we go. God damn it. Yeah, it's me again. Finnegan Odwick, all up in your opening credits and shit. Just please don't no one talk too loud, because I honestly have a splitting headache right now. Hey, who writes this music anyway? I mean, whomever they are, they should get a Grammy or something. You ever heard of one of those? It's like a Grammy and an Emmy at the same time. Hey, Carrie, I really think you're doing a great job. I really do. But there need to be more explosions. And Egner, you know, if Egner could see, if he wasn't blind, he'd know how out of his element he is. And Halifax has been a little passive-aggressive as of late, but it's a good look for him. And Eridu, you know, I'm gonna be honest, Eridu should just go back to being Baradu for a while. And Leonin, I said it right. Does anyone else think that she looks like a cult leader? Or maybe just me? Well, anyway, it's Finnegan's Finporium. Fantastic beasts and where to fit them. God, these guys should have been way further along by now. Gods. Alright. I love it. I love doing Finnegan's voiceovers on this. So, too good. So, let's go ahead.
Did you guys
What?
all see you saw the title? You saw it,
yeah.
right? You saw it? Chat?
Fantastic.
Say you saw it.
Fantastic beasts and where to fit them.
I laughed so much when I first saw that. I was like, that's brilliant. And then I told my boss, and he was like, haha. Just like that. It's like, I like Harry Potter. I'm gonna go do CrossFit now.
That's an uncanny.
That's right.
Uncanny
Robert
impression.
Spriney, you've been called out. Hopefully you watch this. You won't, because you don't play D&D and you think I'm a great big nerd.
Aww. I'm sure the message will get to him somehow.
Yeah, we're gonna send that little part to him right there. All right,
Yeah.
let's
So,
play a game.
let us transition
That's how Ace
into
got fired.
Yeah. And that's how that happened. So let's go ahead and transition into what we like to call group therapy. It's a chance for us to check in with our characters and see how they're feeling emotionally about current events, and also, you know, kind of recap what exactly did happen last session. It's yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and start with Alex right there.
so excited. Okay, so Leah is having a new, well, it's pretty, let's just say she doesn't feel very often. So at the moment, it feels quite new. And I feel like it could best be explained this way. Loathing, there's a strange exhilaration in such total detestation. It's so pure, so strong. Um, yeah. Uh,
Yes.
Love it.
More singing in this stream.
that's been,
More.
it's been
All
going through
the
my head all week.
singing.
Uh,
I wish there was some
so,
clue about who that's about, though.
yeah, I don't. So like, hmm. Actually, it's really interesting because she started out with the first couple of altercations with this unnamed Halifax person, um, feeling like really weighed down by a whole bunch of guilt and past trauma and like a little bit of envy. Um, but when he took it to like the petty level of like passive aggressive and then choosing to whack her across the face, like he didn't have to do that, and he definitely didn't have to say she's certainly asking for it. So now it's like it's kind of given her this freedom to just like really hate him, and all of those pesky other feelings are just kind of forgotten. So she's kind of riding this high, and if she's going to admit, she won't admit this to herself, but she doesn't really want to come off it. Otherwise, she hates being here and really hates this Finnegan guy. So like she can definitely bring that in there as well. She's just feeling a lot of pure, exhilarating hate right now.
There's
Excellent.
a lot of hate. Wow.
Excellent.
I am sure
Excellent.
that won't have zero effect on the rest of the party members.
Yeah,
And
I'm
since
sure
I'm
it will
talking,
be fine.
since I'm talking, I
she's
might as well
really
be the next
enjoying
one.
it.
She's enjoying your hate?
Yeah,
Oh man.
a little bit. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't want to admit it, but yeah, she kind of is.
Well, good. That is empowerment right there. When you can enjoy your hate. I guess I don't know. I sadly missed all of that because, like, last week my life just got a giant flush down the toilet and shit just sucked for about a week. Thankfully, I think we're like over that. So, and definitely what happened on last Tuesday, if it happens again today, which is like probably not even remotely possible, I'm just gonna quit life. But
Oh, don't say that, Asa.
just gonna rage quit, guys.
Don't say that.
No, I'm just happy that today I don't have all these distractions and these life things that are serious that are taking up my attention, and I can pay attention and I can not miss these wonderful interactions between Leah and Halifax. So this has kind of become more of a player. Uh, what do we call this thing again?
Group therapy.
Group therapy.
Group
Then it
therapy.
has been a character group therapy because honestly, Eridu spent most of last session being an animal of some sort and trying to run away.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't get to play a lot of it out, but he actually saw the utility in Halifax controlling his mind to get him to a state of self-control so that he could move past the problem. And he sort of thinks that was the right call. And has not
Nice.
had the time to say that.
I mean, he did bite Halifax's ear a lot, so
He was definitely feeling all of Leodin's emotions towards Halifax and was like,
Blame her.
yeah. But like Halifax being like, all right, man, like you're not afraid, we need to run, I am charming you right now. Eridu sort of leading towards the way that Eridu has begun to view people and situations. He actually agrees with that. Which is, it's going to be interesting to see how his motivations and opinion towards people, how that change is going to affect his and Leah's relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
How's Agner doing?
Eigner, I mean, okay, so it's complicated because, you know, if you've been watching this stream for any amount of time and, you know, gotten to know Agner the character at all, you know he's stubborn. He's stubborn as an old mule, and this situation is no different. He is, yeah, like Finnegan said in the opening credits, if he could see, he would know how out of his element he is. And that's truly the case. He's completely out of his element. He doesn't realize like what kind of danger that he's in, but he's stubborn enough to just feel like, "Oh yeah, I know what's going on. Oh yeah, I know how to handle this whole thing," even though he has no idea how to handle the situation that they're in. They dropped into this whole place in a wild magic zone that was completely unpredictable. There's portals opening up all over the place. You know, he couldn't even like see what was happening, but he knew that it was a very chaotic situation. And then as they got deeper into this whole complex, there's all these insane, like, very deadly traps and, you know, false floors and electrified portcullises and all this stuff. So even though he's stubborn and even though he still feels like he's got it all under control, no worries, there's this doubt creeping up in his mind. And also, he is starting to realize how much he's been relying on Ellie to be his like connection to the visual world. Ellie has always been there to update him on what's happening and to make sure that he knows what the situation is. And he's feeling that void of Ellie not being there, and the other party members are too embroiled in their own drama to even consider like, hey, we should probably should tell Agner what's going on right now. You know what I mean? So he's really starting to have some doubt creeping in, and he'll definitely have a lot of confusion and a lot of questions after people tell him where we left off, which is the electrified portcullis. On the other side, there was an electrified one that had a body like tangled up in it. Turns out it was Halifax's body, a different Halifax's body. Yeah, so once they tell Agner that, he'll just have no idea what to think anymore. No idea.
Halifax is happy that Aigner is taking everything so well. He's just been so proud of Aigner going through this whole thing blind and not needing anyone's help and support. He's just, yeah, you know what? Good on ya, Aigner. Halifax thinks to himself.
Hey, thanks, Halifax.
Yeah. And Eridu and Leoden, you would think there would be some sort of family tension, but as far as Halifax can see, there's none of that there. They're just getting on with the job, and it's a beautiful thing. Halifax is pleased that there's so much harmony going on in this party right now, and he even had a spirited discussion with Leoden about powers that had no emotional fallout or repercussions whatsoever. Halifax is feeling very smug about it all, just wrapping himself in this comfortable blanket of, yeah, I stood my ground, I was right, I made the right decisions every single time, nothing is going to convince me otherwise. There is going to be no fallout from this feeling impacting anything else in this game whatsoever. Everything's going to turn out great. He's not a fan of Finnegan's right now, though.
This is that good old British sarcasm coming out, right?
What?
What? What? What's that?
Yes, quite a bit. But yeah, Halifax genuinely is oblivious to how people might genuinely be feeling. He is thinking to himself that, you know what, Leodan, cute gal. Aigner, you know, he's doing well as a fighter, and Eridu could probably do with going back on the drugs. Genuinely.
It was way more fun when he was hopped up on Sapphire Dream, man.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it was way more fun.
Halifax is feeling so chill about everything that he's now starting to think, oh, how do I feel about the individual members and things?
Why is Eridu chewing on my ear? Oh, nope, now he sees a dead me.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were being romantic, Eridu.
Nah.
But yeah, seeing his own body on some webs behind an electrified portcullis, certainly giving him a peak of intrigue. But he's more wanting to study it than be horrified from it.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go poke it.
Also, there's a very real chance of Eridu having healing nunchucks.
Yes! Oh, I forgot about that. The healing staff's in too.
I just remembered and was like, hey, that should be a thing that we do. Let's do it. Healing chucks.
We'll see how that goes.
Mm.
All right, take it away, Carrie.
I mean, no one's gonna ask me how I'm doing. I mean, this is group therapy. No anyone cares how I'm doing. Well, I'm doing
No,
fine. Fuck you
no,
guys.
please
We'll just get on
don't.
with it then. Fine. Well, previously on the Finnegan show, I sent some idiots down into my lab, and they're already making a mess of it, setting off all these traps. It's like, can't even get from A to B. I don't. Why am I even bothering? Well, anyway, I mean, it seems like they found, one of the Halifax's bodies there. It'll be fine though. It'll be fine. I got it right this time. We opened up at the far of you, standing on one side of this electrified portcullis that you came across before, looking across. So there's the one gate, 10 foot, another gate, and then you can see wedged between the bars. The bars are only about 3 inches gap between them, so it looks like it's come down on him rather than he's squeezed through,
Gruesome.
Yeah. And it's not like a skeleton. It's definitely like a body that you can identify, but it's hard from here to tell quite how long it's been there for. And you can see, so in the 10-foot gap in the middle, it extends either side. So where your corridor, the walls of your corridor, it then extends out, so it's 30 feet long ways. And then you can see the edge of a lever in that gap.
So, if I remember correctly, the one who perceived all of this in extreme detail was Eridu.
Yeah.
So, what is Eridu gonna say about all that?
Well, if I remember correctly, the last session, he did go back to the group and say that there was a body, and it looks like Halifax's, I believe.
Well, in that case, how about that's our jumping off point, and you say it again?
There's a body under these portcullises, and it looks like it is Halifax? Maybe?
Yes?
Oh, it's you. It looks like you're dead. A dead you.
It's probably just a bit of soot on my face.
No. Under, because we have a whole room between all of us. Down this corridor, there is some form of trap. It looks like a portcullis has dropped onto a body, onto a person, and that person is you. Like an alternate. Finnegan said he sent other versions of us down here. Right?
So rather than speaking metaphorically in that he sent other people that were vague representations of the skill sets we bring, he literally meant other versions of us.
That is what it appears to be, yes.
Yeah, give him a round of applause, people. Yeah, finally get something.
Okay, at this
Do we hear that echoing around the
Yeah.
chamber?
Yes.
Yep.
At this point, Agner just kind of points accusingly and speaks loudly to the walls around him, and says, So you sent the other versions of us down here to die?
Other people have come down here. I didn't send them down here.
But you sent us down here. Wait, but you sent other... Wait, how did the other versions of us get down here, but if not for you?
Finnegan sent them down.
Gnar holds his head in his hands and just tries to think about it, but it's all a bit too big for him to comprehend. I thought we were talking to Finnegan. I thought, but I... And he just keeps on mumbling to himself.
Ignar, if I might have an aside, I'm sure Eridu and Leodin would love the chance to catch up for a moment. I have a tactical concern. If Finnegan is sending us down, the Finnegan that we know and have met is sending us down here, and there are other versions of us that have been sent by other versions of Finnegan, would it not make sense that this version of Finnegan is competing against other versions of Finnegan for some prize?
I suppose it's a possibility. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around the whole concept of there being other versions of anyone. I mean, including us. But I'm completely out of my element right now, Halifax.
My concern is that we may come across other versions of ourselves that have not fallen afoul of many traps and designs, which means that we may come across rival versions of us.
I mean, what makes you think that they would be rivals? I mean, I'm sure if I met another Gnar, we'd get along just fine.
Perhaps. But I would like to devise a plan, if possible, a way to defeat each of us in turn. The need arose. You are the most capable fighter of us. I want to be able to know that you could take each of us out, if need be.
I mean, I probably definitely could take you out if I wanted to. I mean, I'm not trying to talk bad on you.
Ignar said he could take you out.
I mean, come on.
At this time, Eridu would have engaged in conversation with Leah, but he'll look up and go, he can try.
While this is happening, the voice comes back across and goes, "Hey, Leodin. You know, Halifax is down there. He's talking tactics. He didn't include you. I mean, says to me that he thinks you're stupid. But you know, that's just my take on it. I just want you guys to get along."
I don't believe you. Also, I'm not going to listen to any disembodied voice because I hate that disembodied voice equally well. It does make sense to me, though, that this is an associate of Halifax's.
Wait.
That's what I assumed. That's what Leah has assumed, that this is an associate of Halifax's, because he kept talking to Halifax and about Halifax the whole time.
Yes. Beyond that aside, I think the layout of the room has escaped my mind momentarily, unfortunately. But there was talk of a lever that we could just about see in some alcove off to the side.
So the way I understand it is we got a portcullis right here. There's a 10-foot gap, and then there's the other portcullis after 10 feet. And then on the other side is where we see Halifax's body. It's in between the bars of the farther one. And then in this space where it's 10 feet this way, it's 30 feet this way. And then... Asa, don't make fun of me. I'm trying to help with the visualization. And then on the one side of that 30 foot, over here, there's the lever. So it's in between the two gates.
Exactly.
Excellent. I'm gonna get more coffee really quick. Be right back.
Okay.
And you
so
can
so
feel
I,
like. Oh, sorry. Go on.
I was gonna say, so we can't get to that lever.
No, so the bars are about. So the bars are 1 inch thick, but there is only a 3 inch gap between each bar. And as you stand near it, you can feel the hum and the buzz of the electricity coming from it.
I think it's safe to say this could be a dead end, and that previous you, Halifax, you've discovered this trap for us. We should probably go a different way.
Perhaps, but if this other Halifax also has access to a spell book and supplies, he's not needing them anymore. I would, at that point, like to take my quarterstaff, my wooden, low conductivity quarterstaff, find a hole about a foot up from the base of the portcullis, so about a foot off the ground, stick the quarterstaff in one of these 3-inch holes, and then use it as a lever.
How wide is your quarterstaff?
It would be like an inch in diameter. Like a quarterstaff's not.
I need a ruler. I feel like that's not a lot for a stick.
Is it not?
Yeah,
I am
inch to
bad.
inch and a half sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm bad at
Okay.
measurements. Whatever that would be, but maybe about that.
Okay, yeah, fine, sure. It's a scrape, but you get it through. They're not holes though; they're just like straight down bars. But
Vertical?
yeah,
Yeah. Vertical bars.
Yeah.
Oh, so there's no horizontal bars to it at all.
No.
Oh, so there's nothing for me to actually gain purchase on to leave.
Okay.
Nothing for you to lever.
Ah, so right, so yeah, so it's bars coming down. Okay. No lever for you.
Egner will answer really quick on this, whomever said we should probably go back. He'll bring up, look, I don't think going back is an option right now unless we want to deal with that whatever fiery thing that we dealt with earlier. I mean that this seems like it's going to be more trouble than it's worth to try and go back that way.
Well, there were, if I remember right, out of character, there were two exits off of the room that we went into after we got past the teeter-totter
Yeah.
room.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So I'll just re-go over that because it was last session.
Yeah.
So when you when you got off the floor, you were on a 20-foot like solid stone bit that was fine. It wasn't wobbly, and that was where the statue was that you saw as well. And then in the corner of the room, there was the corridor heading out directly left from the way you were facing, which is the way you went. And then there was also a corridor going straight down off that corner.
Okay.
I will also say, so looking from here, you can just about, because of the flashing of the lights, you can make out on the other side of the second portcullis, it carries on for around 20 feet, and then it seems to turn a corner going left. And then you kind of stuck your head down. I think you stuck your head down the other exit from the floor room, and that was like one long corridor.
Okay, so we may have another option, another way to go. I don't know. Maybe we just don't want to deal with this electrical dead Halifax situation.
Was there not a choice made early on to, whenever there's a turning, to choose the turning to the right, so that if we ever did need to double back, we could just again turn to the like one direction while exploring this place? Or...
That sounds like something reasonable that we discussed.
Yeah.
It sounds like something Halifax inferred through no conversation at all. Sure.
So yeah, we should In that case, find whatever the rightmost path is from this chamber, and if that is the electrified thing, double back on ourselves and take the next rightmost thing as we're walking back the way we came. Because we're still not clear on which direction leads to our goal in the first place. So we are like exploring this place. So yeah, that's what I propose.
I agree.
Good.
I
Go on.
I was just gonna say I agree as well. But wherever we go, we got to be a lot more careful about um, what we're walking into. And I mean, I hate to pull this card on everyone, but I can't see anything. And I mean, sometimes I can't. It's complicated. We're not going to go into that right now. But we need someone else to take the lead who can actually pick up some more details about the possible dangers that we're going to encounter, because it seems like there's some very insidious traps laid around here.
Huh. I would like to also suggest that we take like 10 minutes and 6 seconds, say, just plucking a number out of my mind, to just, sit in a circle of discussion and discuss like the ramifications of us finding another Halifax and the very concept of being an individuality. Or rather, you guys do that while I just like tinker about with my spell book and like, throw dust in the air for 10 minutes. Sound good?
I mean, Egner's always down to chill for a minute and eat some beef jerky or something.
I cast Unseen Servant as a ritual and use it as a seeing eye thing for Eigner.
Yeah!
So if we're
Okay.
sitting around for 10 minutes while he's casting that ritual, does that count as a short rest?
No, it's got to be an hour.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, while that sitting around is happening, Eridu is sort of met up with we put our heads together, whatever, and he says, "I can't help to notice that you are quite frustrated. I seem to feel it myself, and overall, I have no emotions of my own to be dealing with right now, so I can only assume it's you."
Oh, that pains my heart to hear. That just reinforces to me that I should not be here. I suppose that's what is foremost on my mind. Well, mostly. But this is not a good place for me to be. I'm trapped in a situation with people I don't know very well and my brother, who I love very much. But in both of those cases, I find that I feel that I am a liability more than anything else. But I apologize that my feelings have been coming out in that way. I had hoped that my personal ritual would last a bit longer, but
I think you might be misunderstanding my intentions here. I want you to feel that you can share those emotions with me. I think maybe isolating yourself and just focusing on I guess I'll be a little bit insensitive here, on breathing techniques might not be enough to really help you soothe your deeper issues. What's going on?
How out of earshot is everyone else?
Egner.
I'm not paying attention at all to what's being spoken about.
Yeah.
Egner's like always eavesdropping.
Yeah, he really has no choice to eavesdrop, but he is gonna be very focused as well on eating his beef jerky and just laying down somewhere and trying to relax his body for a second.
Well, additionally, I'm not sure Leah understands how good Egner is at eavesdropping.
No one
So,
does. No one
yeah.
understands.
Okay, so she'll lower her voice and lean in and say, I am seeing things about myself that I don't want to see. Oh, and by the way, I have decided that she has officially come down from her high. In case that wasn't obvious, the dead body was enough to do it. So
a sobering thing.
yeah, she's not writing that. Yeah, it's quite possible it'll come back. I believe that it will, but at the moment, no. She's come off it completely.
Seeing someone you're very frustrated with being actually dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's enough for her anyway. Eridu, I am seeing parts of myself re-emerge that I had hoped to bury. And yesterday was not a good day for me. And I didn't tell you this, but I kind of broke Jaren a little.
Eridu was a
And
bear.
by a
She
little,
didn't
I
see
mean
any of that.
What's that?
I was just like recapping that in my head, but Eridu was a bear. He didn't see any of that.
No, he didn't. He wasn't there. And also, he was like busy being two people. So
That's true.
I actually drove him to suicide. I was able to prevent it, but it's still real what happened. And it's not the first time that my actions and my decisions have killed someone or ruined their lives in specific ways. And Leah will actually, I think she'll go ahead and unwrap the bandage from her arm and show Eridu her arm, and it is, it's been marked with scarification, like small curved marks that are kind of spiraling around her arm up to like the mid forearm. And she says, every one of these is someone whose life I have ruined through my emotional actions, deliberate actions that I have taken, or being unable to control them. And then there are two extremely recent marks on it. And she says, one of these is Jaren, and one of these is a man who died just before you came to my castle. And I didn't think that I was going to be cast into this situation with all of you. I thought I would have more time to reflect on these scars, and I didn't think that they would be a liability, but here we are. And unless something else happens to distract me, they're all I can think about.
Shit.
Eridu will, seeing that the scarring is pretty fresh, will actually grab one half of his staff and rest it on her forearm and put a little bit of healing into it. And he will say, all of our emotions and our actions affect those around us. You simply have a different way of doing it. To exist is to have influence on life. You shouldn't be ashamed of that. Just find the way to make sure you use it to the best ability that you know how for what you want.
She's going to burst into tears. And the feelings that are coming off her are sadness and also anger, and still a lot of guilt and frustration.
Okay,
And
so
oh, go on.
everyone else will then start feeling very similar effects. Imagine everyone else struggling with their eyes welling up, them feeling, a pit of sadness.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Egner really is in a position where he can't fight the emotional wave, and since he's already laying down and eating some beef jerky, he actually kind of goes over on his side and curls up into a bit of a fetal position and starts sobbing a little bit, really having no idea why he's acting this way or doing this, but it just feels right now. It just feels right.
And Halifax performing this ritual, like drawing chalk circles and throwing dust into the air, will just suddenly become overwhelmed with emotion. This is going to be the best damn emotional support unseen servant anyone's ever seen.
We both need it,
I'm so
Halifax.
useful.
After this period of time goes by and Eridu and Leah have their moment, Eridu straightens up and wipes a tear from his eye and turns to everyone and says, "All right, if what I've seen in the last corridor has given us any indication, there's a very real chance that we could die down here and that Finnegan is playing some sort of sick game. We should probably get along as fast as we can. And maybe we should consider everything we see to be some elaborate trick. Right now,
Very wise.
everything seems a little bit blurry at the moment."
Yes. Everything we see is likely to be a trick, no, Finnegan. So, Aigna, keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah, will do, Halifax.
Yeah, I'll instruct the I'll instruct the unseen servant to basically like be on Aigna's arm, and because it's mindless, but it can perform mundane tasks like folding things. Like it must be able to see things, but not know how to react instinctively. So I am going to instruct it to simply get Aigna to avoid physical obstacles. I'm not sure how an unseen servant might react to illusions, but yeah, basically get him to avoid traps and obstacles and things, and just walk a little bit in front. So if there is like a pressure plate trap, that it's the unseen servant that steps on it rather than Aigna.
So it's invisible, but is it like this kind of thing where Egner could like reach out and then feel this kind of bodiless force or something? Like, would he feel something?
It can exert force on the universe, but because it's magic, it's up to the GM for interpretation. But it can carry things, it can lift things, it can push and pull things. Like it acts essentially like an invisible person.
As far as all the things it can manipulate, though, it only has a strength of 1, so...
Yeah, so you can feel it there. You can feel it as like, as if you've got like a banister almost as you walk around, I guess.
Interesting. Yeah. Egner will get used to this whole feeling, and he's being led around by it a little bit, and he'll say, "Halifax, this is actually it's quite nice. It makes me feel a little more secure. Yeah, I appreciate it."
I will also instruct it actually to listen to the commands of Aigna to the best of its ability. So if he tells it to go away and do something, then hopefully it will. I'm not sure if that can actually work or not, but we'll find out.
Okay. So which way are you heading? So you said you want to turn back around and go back. So as soon as you go into that room, like the way that you're facing, there's only the one other exit, and that's to your left as you come out of the corridor you're in. Otherwise, you're going back across the wobbly floor.
Yeah. Well, that was my understanding, is that we don't want to go back to the wobbly floor, but we want to take the other exit from that room that we didn't explore yet.
Yep. All right. As you start to walk, a voice comes across again and says, "Oh, it's just me, or is it got real depressing down here? Oh, maybe we should cheer each other up. Let's have a sing along. Yeah. What do you know? Wheels on the bus? You don't know what bus is. Well, what songs do you know?
I'm not much one for singing, Finnegan, and honestly, I fail to understand how singing will help us right now. I think maybe you should just be quiet for a little bit and let us focus on not dying down here.
You have no idea how this works. Whatever. And you start walking. Well, you keep walking. So, you start down a corridor. So as you walk down this corridor, about halfway down, there's a flash of light again. And in front of you appears another one of those rooms, like what happened when you left the first room, if you remember. And it carves out in the air a different symbol than the one that you saw before. But it glows a similar blue light as the other one did. I probably didn't describe it as blue, but it was blue last time. So you feel soaking into you like a strong positive energy, similar to what you had before, and it feels like you're getting a benefit coming through. But then, as it builds inside you, it starts to feel too much. Like your body's trying to keep a lid on some sort of energy, and it just can't do it. I need you to all make Constitution saving throws.
Oh dear. Too much of a good thing? We're about to find out.
Ooh. I rolled a 16. I get plus 2.
I rolled a 16 and I get a plus 0. 16.
I have a total of 16. A lot of 16s going on.
Hang on a sec. 14.
Oh, you broke the streak.
Sorry.
Okay, so
Whatever.
so Leodin, on this ends up dropping to her knees, clutching onto her stomach as she moans. Did you say 17 or 14?
Me?
Did you? Yeah.
I said 14.
All right, okay, good. Just checking. My brain messed up. And you feel this energy just leaving your body, as do the others, but it's not quite as painful. Leodin's at the point of where you're moaning from this pain. It's almost like you feel it coming out of your paws. You take... I did the maths and I forgot it again. 13 points of damage as it leaks out of you. Psychic damage, I guess. I don't know what kind of damage it is. Everyone else takes half of that as they feel it spilling out of them. However, what you do feel is you were unable to hold on to the original benefit that you got from the first rune.
Oh, damn.
And you weren't able to take this one on either.
Okay, so we lose the immunity to those status conditions, and we take this 6 damage, and then nothing else, pretty much.
That's it. Then the room goes... It's not black, but the light disappears.
Mm-hmm.
It's
So
still dimly lit.
I had questions about, Agner earlier being immune to the blind condition. But it doesn't matter now because he's blind again.
No, plus you can't be like, if he's already like properly blind,
Yeah.
that's just it now. It's just done. So
It's a pre-existing condition, you know.
yeah,
It's like
exactly.
it's not. Yeah, it's not good. My coverage is just all off, you know.
All right, fair enough.
So Leah presumably picks herself up off the floor.
Yep.
Well, in fact, seeing one of his teammates fall to the floor, Halifax is going to go over and lend a hand. So that's, you know, we're walking into a room and all of a sudden someone collapses. That's not good.
Okay.
Yep, she'll not look at him, but accept his assistance.
He's not really looking at her, to be fair. He's like,
Yeah,
up you get.
there we go.
Okay. So keep going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll keep going.
At every turn, we seem to be bombarded by these magical explosions.
What do they look like, Halifax? You're supposed to be the magical one here. Have you been able to figure out anything about what they are, how they work?
Would I be able to do like an Arcana check to see if like there's anything like lingering in the air that I can just like draw upon and look at? And...
Yes, you can.
70.
Okay.
It's not great. I rolled an 8.
It's not there isn't anything lingering, so once it's gone, it's just gone. There's not like, you know, there's no residue of anything in the air. It's not, you can't see like components that have combusted to make this happen or whatever. But you do think back to something that you picked up not long ago. And you remember seeing carved on the back of those coins that you picked up from the statue. I'm so distracted. You remember
Don't be
seeing
distracted.
that the particular symbol that appeared in the air on the back of one of the coins that you had a look at and put in your pocket.
Yes, there were 5 of them. I remember. Okay, yeah, 5 ruined coins painted gold on
Yes.
one side. I've got the note here. Yeah.
And in terms of just thinking like magically, these aren't really things that you've seen before. It's like you've seen runes before, but not like I don't know how much they are in this world, but I'm going to presume you haven't really seen them. They're different from like arcane symbols. They're not like, you know, what you see in every spellbook or whatever. But these ones are like nothing you've really seen before. These look ancient. These look like they were, you know, it's like the symbols that you have now are like a super refined, perfected version of these.
I'm just gonna double check the thing. Where do we find what? Oh, here we go. I speak Celestial. Would there be any commonality between Celestial and perhaps like Primordial? And would I see any similarities at all? If this is it, I mean, this is like Abyssal.
I am gonna say no.
Okay.
Only because I haven't put a connection together there between them, so no.
Okay.
It's just they
Alright.
just look old. Yeah.
There are ancient things here, things that are beyond mortal understanding.
Well, that makes it really simple for us. We're immortal. We don't need to understand them. We'll leave that for Finnegan to figure out.
But I agree with Agner. We should soldier on.
So, keeping on walking.
Yeah.
It's another 30 feet from when this happens to another corner. And there's only one option. It just turns to the left.
All right. We turn left.
And that corridor stretches for 90 feet. carrying on walking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a bit slower, and then Agner will hiss over at Halifax and just say, "Keep your eyes peeled, Halifax. I don't want us to get surprised by another one of those magic-y thingies."
Yeah.
Eridu will crawl along the floor searching for traps.
I was waiting for that reference to come along.
Inch by
Inch
inch.
by inch, searching
Looking
for
for traps.
traps.
See, I was just going to take the quarterstaff out and just sort of like run it along the side of the wall as we walk, just to see if anything triggers or happens or anything. Just like a laissez-faire precaution.
You can both
Uh,
do that. You both roll investigation checks.
Actually, I'm not really going to crawl bit by bit, but what I am going to do is I'm going to take one of my broken halves of the staff and just give it a bit of a chuck. I'm going to throw it, about 10 feet or so to see if
Why?
it lands and triggers some kind of effect.
Oh, I.
I am, yeah. Also, my
Okay.
investigation check is absolute garbage, but I think there's going to be a reason for that.
I got
Yep.
17.
Okay, so Halifax starts to scrape his quarterstaff along the wall. And the rest of you notice as Eridu pulls out this half of a staff and throws it down the corridor. Eridu, you watch the staff tumble over in the air, and then suddenly everything goes dark.
What did you do?
It's fine for everyone
no.
else.
Everything goes
Just
dark for
Eridu.
Eridu. Oh my god, I think I've triggered something. I can't see anything. It's all dark. Is it? I think that
I
there
can
must be
see
a trap
fine.
in here.
I can also see fine.
Now you
No.
know how I feel.
Agner, can you see fine? No,
Wait,
that-
you all.
I feel like that's actually crossing a line now.
Nothing has changed for any of you.
No.
No.
Then maybe it's just me. Maybe there's just. I threw my staff, half of it, and I didn't see it land. And before it landed, it went dark. So there must be something up ahead that would. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm blinded and proceed with caution. There's got to be a way of triggering this effect. And I'm gonna take a few steps closer as I'm talking, but just having my hands out warily. What
Leah will
happens-
come up and help you and walk with you.
And then what happens when I get within 10 feet of
Wait,
whatever
what-
just happened?
What's
Halifax
trying to do?
will summon Tobias, put him on the end of my quarterstaff and hold my quarterstaff out, and I shall warg into Tobias. So I know exactly what he's seeing and hearing, and just walk with him basically 5 feet in front of me.
Okay.
Interesting.
Eridu, as you start to walk, you take about 5 steps, and suddenly everything comes back clear again.
I can see again. Okay. So, just proceed with caution, but it seems like everything has worked itself out again. And I'll continue to slowly move forward, and when I get close to my staff, I'll bend down and I'll pick it up.
Okay.
What happens to Halifax?
Halifax walks oddly with his ribbon at the end of a stick.
Just imagining him duck walking along is as familiar as.
And Halifax makes his way over to be stood beside Eridu. Nothing happens.
All right. Agner, unperturbed, will come and join the rest of them and just grumble something about, I don't know why y'all are complaining so much. I mean, it's really not that bad, you know? I mean, I've gotten used to it. Shit.
I mean, if the worst of this trap is just that it makes us blind, we'll be alright with all of us, but as long as we are all, one of us can see, we should be fine. And then I'm going to trap test again and throw my staff another 10 to 15 feet.
Okay, you throw the staff, it tumbles over in the air, and everything goes dark.
Oh god, it's happened again!
Eridu, just get used to it, okay? Like I said, it's not even that bad. Whatever. I think you're just being a big baby.
No, I'm okay being blind as long as you can all see. Well, not. You know what I mean.
Yeah,
But
I know what you mean.
maybe we should just make our way through this corridor fairly quickly, because it seems like this is a periodic trap that's
Only
going to be
works
happening
on
here.
you.
Then. Did you get? That is strange. Why is it only affecting me?
Perhaps it is a cursed corridor, and the person who lay the curse worded it very specifically. Let he who throws sticks down this corridor go blind momentarily until he picks up his rubbish.
Quick, throw your staff. See if it happens to you.
I will do, forgetting that Tobias is on the end, and and my senses are in Tobias. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm on a roller coaster, just flipping over.
Ah!
But yes, I will toss the quarterstaff.
Okay. Yeah, the staff tumbles over and over, and at this point hits the wall at the other end of the corridor. You land on the floor as the bird. But nothing else happens to you.
I shall pick myself up as Tobias, and also I shall get my body to stand up as well. Because I'm sure there'll be like some sort of like
You just
connection where
like
I think I'm falling, so I fall.
yeah.
It seems to only be Eridu. Maybe it's only elves. The corridor is racist, guys.
I'll throw my staff then.
Okay. At this point, Agner is just like not understanding the whole process, honestly getting a little frustrated, and he and his unseen servant are just going to be going right along ahead of everyone, and he'll say, "Look, guys, you're making it a lot more complicated and useless than it needs to be. Look, I'll just figure it out, okay? I got this thing from Halifax. I'll go ahead." And he's just going to go in front of everyone.
Agner, make a dex save.
All right. The sacrificial lamb, as he usually is, Agner. Oh, rolled a 20. Oh shit. All
He's
right.
like
I
dancing
feel
down
bad
the
that I've
corridor.
taken a 20 for this. So Agner sort of storms off towards the end of the corridor, just as Laodin decides she's going to throw her staff too, and it very narrowly misses Agner as he reaches the end of the corridor. However, Laodin's staff lands at the end of the corridor against the back wall, and nothing happens.
Hey, be careful with that. Whoever threw that, be careful.
I was just proving it wasn't elves.
All right. Well, I'm proving that I'm proving that it's not as bad as y'all think it is, and we should just get a move on, is what I'm proving over here. Grumble. All these people worried about being blind. I mean, come on. It's not even that bad.
During my wonderful investigation, which wasn't 8, clearly I was spending a lot of my time throwing sticks around. I find my way to being able to see again and go pick up my stick and, look at my stick, look down the corridor, and put my stick back in my sword sheath. And that is a very strange, very specific trap. Why would it just trigger me? And as we begin to go down this left turn to Halifax and say, do you think Finnegan may have made a dungeon specifically triggered toward us, knowing we were the only people going to come down here, and has had traps that were specifically designed to affect us individually?
Count our usual strategies when coping with things like this. You, the consummate experimenter, throwing things down a corridor might be something that Finnegan expected you specifically to do. But then
You guys think too much. Come on. Get moving. I'm sick of sitting around listening to Halifax's monologues and Eridu throwing sticks. Come on.
I wouldn't have to throw sticks if you just put us in a place that was trustworthy, that didn't make us go blind all the time.
You get no response.
I'm liking Finnegan less and less every single day.
You can keep talking. It's just
That's all he's got to say.
Agner's charging ahead with his unseen servant.
Yep, I will pick up my stick on my bird, and I shall follow.
You know what I
Okay.
should do instead of nunchucks? I
Okay.
should make these sticks into boomerangs.
okay. You turn a corner. It turns to the right now, and you follow that corridor down. 25, no, 50 feet. Forget how big the squares are on this. And then turn again. And so you turn to the left, and you can see into a large room, like an oval-shaped room. From what?
This corridor went left and then left again, kind of like it's spiraling around itself.
No, so it went.
Went
So
left
you went
then
down the
right.
corridor that you were throwing the stick down, and you turned right
Oh, okay.
and went down, and then turned left.
Okay, I got you. New room. Sorry.
And you
Go ahead.
can, yeah, no, that's fine. And then so you can see into the room. There is. This is actually in the book. Okay. It's an oval chamber. It has a 10-foot high ceiling. Standing against the east wall is a stone statue of a young gold dragon. Its mouth is agape, teeth bared, and wings are folded in tight.
I throw my stick at the dragon. No, I'm kidding. I don't do that.
Is it a stone statue? How do we know it's a gold dragon?
It's got
Fu
golden
Manchu.
bits on it.
Does it look like it's made of solid gold, or does it look like there's just gold along the outside of it?
Well, it's still quite. It is quite far away, so you can't completely tell. But it looks similar to the coins that Halifax picked up. Then it might just be painted
Solid
gold stone.
gold. All right.
Gold.
I am fascinated by this dragon. I want to be all up in this dragon's grill. So yeah, I want to move towards this dragon. I want to, like, in a non-innuendo way. Like I want to fondle this dragon all over. I want to like press every scale and see if there's like anything about it. I then want to take the coins afterwards and shove them in its mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to do a full investigation.
Well, as you hurriedly make your way into the room, I would like you to make a dex saving throw. Actually, all of you are going to need to make a dex save. Halifax, do it flat. Everyone else can do it with advantage. Although, oh no, yeah, I can do it with advantage. Yeah, that's fine.
'Cause
21.
Agner is stinky. You got 21 without advantage?
Yeah, I get a plus
That's
3 and I rolled an
pretty
18.
awesome.
Yeah.
I got a +7 and I rolled an 11. I got an 18. I still rolled lower than you, and my bonus is like ridiculously high.
Oh, wait. I rolled an 18 and got plus 3. You got an 18 total. And this happened before. Like, I rolled a 16 and got something else, and you got a 16.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that happened earlier. For a Constitution save, I had a 16 total because I did no pluses.
Was that on your dex save? Did you add your dex? Not con.
Yeah. I'm.
Alright, okay, just checking.
Mine was 12.
12. It's gone.
he
so...
was like, you know what? I don't even make the deck save. I can't see.
yeah, I'm done. Okay, so
Asa threw the stick. I just can't do this anymore.
okay, so the DC was 15. So if you, I can't remember what people said. So if you passed, you take, on a fail, you take 55 points of bludgeoning damage. On a pass, you take half. As this dragon moves, it rolls straight down towards the corridor, and it fits into the corridor. So Halifax managed to jump out of the way, so he's into the room. Everyone else jumped to the side into the corridor. If you failed, you're pinned up against the wall between the dragon and the wall. Agna's back. We need a dex save from you.
Okay.
Kyle,
All right.
if possible.
Dexterity. I rolled another 20. What?
Cool.
So that's
Okay,
actually 19.
So who did anyone fail? Just check.
What was the?
15.
Oh yeah,
I
I
don't
failed.
think I don't.
Okay.
Not only did I
So-
pass, but I also have evasion.
Nice.
I take nothing.
So, Kyle, you take half of 55 points of bludgeoning damage as this gold stone dragon rolls straight down towards you into the corridor. Agna, and Eridu jump to the side, so they're back in the corridor that you were originally coming down. Laodin is now pinned up against the back wall between the dragons, so you have like the dragon's face in your face, and you've taken the 55. Are you still up? It's 55.
I have 7 hit points.
Woo!
Okay.
Oh,
The
wow.
damage we took, the ones that passed.
It was half of 55 bludgeoning damage if you
Yeah.
passed.
So
Ow.
27.
7.
Round down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
And Halifax jumped out of the way and he's in the room. So now you're all. So Halifax is separated from the rest of you. You can't see them. Eridu and Aigna can see Leia pinned up against the wall.
Well, Egner will ask for a status update
Well.
in the form of, what the hell was that? And
I
hopefully...
believe Leah will groan.
Yeah.
I am gonna run up to this dragon, and I'd like it to be in such a way that it might at first seem that Halifax is really concerned about his teammates, but genuinely I'm going for the dragon. Like, why did it pick Leah over me? Come here, dragon! And I like put my arms over its wings and like drag it back into the room.
Leah's gonna like just charm monster and be like, "Go love Halifax."
Like, I was running towards it with my arms open, like, this is amazing, and then it was zoomed right past me. And
Do we get initiatives now?
You don't really need it. It's not
It's just a
alive.
stone dragon that
So,
ran
well,
into me.
So it's like, just so we can visualize it, it's somewhat of an Indiana Jones kind of moment where there's the long corridor and then this thing is like tumbling and rolling like a big boulder, kind of like that.
Kind of,
or...
yeah, like it's on rollers. But they
Oh.
seem to like sink into the ground, and as Halifax tries to pull it, this thing feels like immovable.
Wow.
I was gonna roll initiative anyway because Eridu was ready to beat it up.
You can go for it. You can.
just punching the stone wings. Like,
You don't have to roll initiative. You can just roll an attack on it. I'm not doing initiative for a thing that can't hit back.
Well, Egner will also throw himself into the effort and grab this stone thing and try and push it.
I will be helpful too.
Okay.
That's all I have.
So maybe Eridu gives Egner the assist on some kind of athletics check or something, or
No.
What?
Eridu is gonna give Agner the guidance on some guidance because I have guidance.
oh, that's so helpful. It's literally like the most helpful cantrip in the game. Yay! Thank you.
Dude, it is a solidly helpful thing.
Debatable, but
Okay.
I'll take the D4.
I
Do
mean,
you want to? Go. Sorry.
if
go
you're
on.
helping Agner, you can, or Halifax, you can only get what's that roll? Advantage once.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So okay.
advantage with a
you-
D4, you.
Yeah. Roll your athletics check with the D4 with advantage.
Okay. Oh, I'm rolling 20s all over the
Did you roll
place.
a
I'm
20?
seriously. Well,
Did you
I'll
roll
show you
20 on
both
the
of them.
D4?
No, I got an
Oh.
18 and a 20. Egner's rolling like a god today. So that's going to be 29 on the athletics in total. I rolled a 2 on that
Okay.
D4.
Between you manage mostly, Agna, I will say, with the 20.
Yeah.
You manage to push it enough to pull Leah out, but otherwise it just slams back into the stone wall.
Okay.
This is like
I'll
it
pull
feels
Leah out
almost
since
impossible.
they're pushing so much on the dragon.
Ow.
So, yeah, Egner will first, after heroically pushing, and then he'll say, "Is it clear? Is it clear?" And then Eridu will be like, "Yeah, I got her." And then he'll let it go. It'll slam back against the wall, and he'll just let out a heavy sigh. Leah, are you okay?
I'm not doing well.
But you're talking, and you're alive
I-
right now, so that's something. That's something.
I told you I would be a liability.
Look, don't even start on that right now. And Egner will kneel down next to Eridu, who is also, I imagine, trying to tend to Leah's wounds, and he'll take his hand, put it on her shoulder, and some flooding of white healing energy comes out of his hand and helps to heal the damage. He's going to use, let's see, maybe just, fuck it. I was going to use, okay, I'm just going to use a first level spell slot for right now. Cure Wounds. He helps a little bit with 7 hit points of healing on Leah. It helps a little bit.
Halifax is
14.
going to like feel strange and not quite sure what emotion he's feeling right now. But he sees I'm gonna do this, and then he then like leans forward, touches her other shoulder, and pumps 12 hit points into her.
You wouldn't be able to see her from where you are.
Do you have the dragon between you and us?
Yeah.
Or did you try
So
and
you're
climb
still Halifax is
How
still on
big
the
is
other
the dragon,
side.
then?
It is. It's big. It fills the corridor.
Okay, I thought. Okay.
So,
climb over?
okay, so there's this kind of right angle kind of
Yeah.
corner that we're at, and the dragon having coming down the corridor, is it completely blocking this space so that we can't even get through like that?
So is it basically like this image of this carved dragon? Is that backed onto like a flat thing that like
No.
sandwiches flush
So
with it?
you could. The way it's kind of positioned, there are small gaps. Like you could probably pass your staff through to each other. Like there are small gaps, but not enough for you to be able to. You can't get a sight on them on the other side unless they maybe like jumped up and down.
I have been not panicking because I thought like I could squeeze between the legs or something, or like I've been thinking.
Time to panic.
Yeah. Never mind then.
Well, I'm also healing Leah because I'm a boss at rolling 11 damage as a fucking 4th level cure wounds spell. I rolled 2 1s.
You need
And
some
then
of
I
my
just-
luck, dude.
I just went ahead and like continued to test roll that D8 to see how it would do over another 4 more rolls. I rolled 2 more 1s. So out of 4 rolls, 4 or 8 rolls, 4 of them were 1.
Cursed.
Apparently these unicorn dice hate me.
They're
But- okay.
cursed.
I mean the last 4 were for fun, but she only heals 11 hit points.
Well, that's helping. Helping get her back up.
25 now. I actually have a staff of healing, so I will probably use it.
You can see like me using my staff of healing and like the wispy energies of light almost attempting to reconnect with each other, and it seems like the staff is putting more of its energy into mending itself than it is to mending Leoden. That's why it's a piece of shit.
Your staff isn't working very well.
Not really. No.
Yes, it seems to have been broken.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Egner, I'm gonna assume that he's gotten a bit more information from Eridu, and he'll try and speak loud enough to try and have Halifax hear him as well, and he'll say, "All right, so we've got this obstacle between us. I mean, obviously we need to get on the same side, either over there with Halifax or have Halifax come back over here. But I mean, we can't go back. We need to keep moving forward. How the hell are we going to get this thing out of the way? I could only push it for a little bit, and that was my greatest strength that I had available, honestly.
Even with Halifax grabbing the tail and pulling. Are we?
I
Is there enough room to squeeze past it at all? Near the
No.
back end? All right.
I have a proposal that Halifax continues investigating this room and maybe trying a few corridors and things down this way. I squeeze like a finger or two through a gap and summon Tobias on the far side of the statue from me. And so, gameplay-wise, it's just Tobias, not Halifax's senses to Tobias, but just Tobias as an animal with you guys, so we can explore that. And then, if it makes things easier, so there's not like a whole like split party, some people not doing anything, and I can be there to just occasionally squawk and carry things.
Well, as I understand it, Halifax is on the side that we need to go to, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
The rest of us got cut off, and we're like
That's
farther
true.
back than we need to be. You know, it's not like Halifax is trapped back there. I mean, I really like this idea of Halifax checking things out in that room while our characters try and figure out how are we gonna move or destroy or otherwise get past this giant stone thing in our way.
The fact that it's a mechanism that seems like it can reset, rather than it simply being like a bungee cord that yanks it to this corridor. It's like a roller thing. There might be some switch to reset it.
Mm-hmm.
Might not. Might just be a very fastidious designer. You never know.
True. Well, sounds like Halifax needs to do some investigation.
And I will.
I did just want to mention that I have used one charge of my Staff of Healing to do an additional 13 hit points to myself, so I'm now at 38.
All right.
Cool. Alright, so as Halifax turns around and moves into the room, there is a clicking sound. And then the sound of stone grinding on stone. And then the dragon starts to move back. It pulls itself back all the way up to where it originally was. Oh, you have time to move and stuff while it's moving. It doesn't go as quickly as it came down.
Okay. So someone who can see better say that, because then Agner will immediately say like, "Go, go, go! Follow it!" Like, because it stands to reason that it's it's gonna retract all the way, and they can like
And then
follow
snap out.
it and then get off to the left or the right as soon as they get into the chamber.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Okay.
So you do that, and you find yourself in
Yeah.
the room that you could see in before. The
Okay.
statue clicks itself back into its original position, and is motionless.
All right, so everyone, Agner will say very emphatically, we got to stay out of the path at that thing. Don't even think about crossing the room. We just got to stay on one side or the other, okay?
And we probably just shouldn't touch the dragon at all. In my head, Halifax is already like going over to investigate it when Eridu says that.
I'm basically Abu with that giant red gem. Like,
You got dragons in your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I will add that there is a door. Or it's not a door. A lot of these are just like holes in the wall that leads off to the right, on the right hand wall.
So there's only one exit out of this room?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. We take that exit.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, were we
Uh,
going to look and see if there was anything else interesting in the room, or has that already been done and I just missed it?
Someone should definitely investigate. Agner is not a good person to do that, obviously.
Someone do an investigation check.
I will do so.
In the meantime, I'm going to heal Leah one more time with
Aw.
9 points of healing.
19 total.
Okay, there doesn't seem to be anything else in this room. It literally seems to just be this statue, and that's it. You can't even see the tracks that it went down. But That's all there is.
Alright.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna go to the exit, the other direction that we can go, and kind of do a perception check as we get to that exit to see if I can take in anything that's coming up ahead of us.
Yep.
I think I have an okay perception, but I don't have D&D Beyond pulled up.
You bad boy.
I rolled a 16. I need to get my bonus. I'm sorry. Terrible at D&D. There we go. It's 25. 23. I did math wrong.
It's fine. So you see a 60-foot corridor, just like all of the other ones that you've seen, that has a turn at the bottom that turns to the right.
Right.
Heading down?
So yeah, I'm sorry. I'm very yawny today. Yeah, I'm gonna like motion to the group and start to head down.
Okay. So you head down this corridor. You get to the bottom. You get to the turn. Taking the turn. It's another long corridor. You can see where it opens out at the end of the corridor. And as you keep walking, you come past one door. All around this door.
An actual door, not just an opening, right?
Yes.
Okay.
This is an actual door, and this one looks like it is made of reinforced metal. That it looks like someone has tried to weld it shut somehow. It has signs written all over it saying, "Do not enter. Don't open this door. Finnegan, seriously, I mean it this time. Do not open this fucking door." And the corridor continues on to the bottom of you.
I mean, we're going in the door, right?
As soon as someone described what the door is like, then Agner will pull out the sending stone that supposedly will connect to Finnegan, and he'll just say, Finnegan, so we got this door right here, and it really says that we shouldn't go through it. Don't open this door. For the love of God, Finnegan, don't open this door. Look, is this kind of some kind of sick joke? Did you make this? Did another version of you go through this, and then you're trying to tell the other versions of you to not go through this? What is going on?
Agner, I mean, you're right. It's on there as a warning for every other Finnegan, and hopefully every other you guy group. But seriously, don't open that door.
What's behind there? What could it possibly be that's worse than anything else that we've already encountered in this hellish place?
Agner, it's the worst thing I've ever seen. I saw it one day and then had sealed it away. Like, you'd never get the door open anyway. I just leave it, man. Just leave it.
Actually, that sounds like a challenge, but okay. All right, fine. Yeah, I don't want to deal with it either. If it's the worst thing you've ever seen, then yeah, I don't even want to deal with it. So
you get, as you start saying that, you just get a whisper. It's all on a cob, Agner. Everything in that room, everything's on a cob. It just doesn't make sense. I just never open the door. Just leave it. Just walk away.
Everything's on a cob, like corn on the cob.
Yeah.
I want to go in there now.
I want to go in there.
I kind of want to go in there now.
Just leave the room. You can't open that door.
Everything's on a cob. We gotta go. It's all on a cob. We gotta go.
All right. Message received. We will not go through this door. But I don't know. I kind of want you to tell me more about it later.
Maybe.
Okay.
It's all on a cob, Agner. It's all on a cob.
At that, Agner will put his hands up. He'll put the sending stone away. He'll put his hands up and say, "Look, everyone. I guess there's nothing to see there. So let's just go ahead and forget about that door and move on." All right.
Okay. I'm gonna walk you down into the next room, and then we'll go on break. So
Yay.
you carry on down the corridor, where it then opens out into a kind of cross-ish shaped room, kind of. It's like a pixelated circle. There are two statues directly opposite. These aren't Finnegan statues. These are some old guy that you've never seen before. And there is two huge stone. They kind of look like doors opposite. And then as you walk further into the room and look to your left, you see where the floor just drops off into. If you went over and kind of had a look, it is a huge drop down. And across this, on the other side, you can see a platform of stone. And joining the two is a 10-foot wide bridge that has like an ethereal, magical quality to it. And beside the bridge is a post and a basket and some rope. And I'm going to leave you on that.
Egnar's not going to
Alright.
like this at all when someone tells him what it is. He's not going to like that or trust that in any way, shape, or form.
It's all bad.
It's all bad.
It's all bad.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us today on Roll for Mischief. There's more coming. Don't worry. Don't worry. There's more Finnegan. There's more bad stuff and good stuff
There's
and
more rolling.
more rolling, more
mischief.
more passive-aggressive party dynamics.
There's
you know,
more on a cob. More on a cob.
everything's on a cob today. Yeah, join us in about 10 to 15 minutes. We'll be right back with more of this story. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.